Group B rallying, which ran from 1982 to 1986, is often remembered as one of the wildest, most thrilling chapters in motorsport history. With unrestricted performance and cars pushing well beyond 600 horsepower, it was an era unlike anything before or since. Spectators lined the stages, often standing dangerously close, separated from the action by nothing more than hope. Many still consider Group B to be the greatest rally era ever, yet its excitement came with an undeniable, deadly cost. The cars were revolutionary. The Audi Quattro's all-wheel drive system alone changed the automotive world, but for all the engineering breakthroughs, Group B was notoriously unsafe. Formula One had its own safety struggles at the time, but rallying under Group B regulations took risks to another level. Fans would get as close as humanly possible, sometimes even stepping into the path of speeding cars for a perfect shot. And it wasn't just the spectators. Drivers faced immense pressure piloting insanely powerful machines on unforgiving roads. Ultimately, tragedy struck multiple times, bringing the era to an abrupt end. While Henri Toivonen's fatal crash in 1986 is often cited as the moment that killed Group B, another horrifying incident earlier that year played a major role in its downfall. Today, we're revisiting that other tragedy, the crash during the 1986 Rally of Portugal, widely viewed as one of the darkest days in rally history. The third round of the 1986 World Rally Championship took place in Portugal, near Sintra. Portuguese driver Joaquim Santos was behind the wheel of a Ford RS200, partnered with co-driver Miguel Oliveira. But before the race even began, there were serious concerns. Spectators were everywhere, crowding the roads, ignoring barriers, creating dangerously tight corridors for the cars to pass through. Portugal's rally had surged in popularity, especially with the parts of the route located just 30 minutes from Lisbon. Thousands of fans flocked to the stages. One particular section, known as Lagoa Azul or Blue Lagoon, was especially notorious. Roughly 3 miles long and fairly straight by rally standards, it allowed cars to reach blistering speeds. By the 19:15 a.m. start time, the roads were swarming with spectators, pressed up against the tarmac with barely inches to spare. The danger was obvious from the outset. Just minutes into the stage, a fan attempted to sprint across the road as a Quattro roared toward him, missing death by mere inches. Soon after, Finnish driver Timo Salonen struck a cameraman while piloting his Peugeot 205. Thankfully, the cameraman survived, though he suffered broken bones. Neither Salonen nor the cameraman were really to blame. Crowd density had forced the cameraman onto the road itself. Salonen managed to finish the stage, but his car showed signs of the collision. Naturally, the drivers and teams were furious. Salonen and others demanded answers from officials about the total lack of crowd control. But despite their outrage, race organizers did little to change the course. Minutes later, Joaquim Santos launched off the start line in his RS200, ready to push hard. Santos was familiar with the car, and Oliveira had been his trusted co-driver for years. Together, they aimed to impress. But tragedy was just moments away. According to Oliveira's own account, they approached one of the fastest parts of the stage, a nearly flat-out right-hand kink followed by a slowing left. During practice, Santos had hit 200 km per hour through this section, but on race day, the road was packed shoulder to shoulder with people. As Santos exited the right-hand bend, a spectator suddenly stepped onto the road. Santos swerved to avoid them, but the correction upset the car's balance. The rear end snapped out, and he lost control. Oliveira kept reading pace notes, unsure how bad it was. Then came a sickening series of impacts. "I felt bump, bump, bump," he later recalled. "I didn't see anyone, but I felt the car hitting something." Tragically, the bumps were people. When the dust settled, the aftermath was horrifying. Around 32 spectators were seriously injured. 3 died instantly: a woman, her 11-year-old son, and another child. A 4th victim later passed away in hospital. Mark Duez, another driver following behind in an RS200, immediately urged officials to stop the rally after witnessing the carnage. But inexplicably, the stage wasn't halted. Instead, more than 10 cars continued down the same stretch before any action was taken. Drivers and teams were outraged. They gathered to formally demand that the event be cancelled. But officials pushed forward, disregarding their calls for safety. Ari Vatanen later spoke of the chaos. "In Italy and other places, controlling fans was hard. In Portugal, it was impossible. You drove through a human tunnel." Even after this deadly crash, the rally wasn't immediately stopped. Worse yet, 2 more major accidents occurred later that year, solidifying Group B's fate. The Portugal crash stands as one of the most preventable tragedies in motorsport. From overwhelmed organizers to reckless crowd management, the signs of danger were everywhere that day. The earlier close call with the pedestrian, Salonen's collision with the cameraman, both should have been warnings, but the rally continued, with lives lost as a result. Whether or not Santos could have avoided the crash is beside the point. Spectators were simply too close, and no measures were taken to protect them. Responsibility for this disaster doesn't fall solely on the drivers. It lies with those who failed to ensure safety. Today, rallying remains a thrilling spectacle, but such extreme crowd risks are almost unheard of. The 1986 Rally of Portugal was a grim turning point, changing how motorsport views fan safety forever. Thanks for watching. If you found this video insightful, be sure to like and subscribe for more motorsport history.